I'm gonna be all over the place. Excuse me. I'm gonna be all over the place. Giving all praise to Yahweh Shemel Shabbat Shemakakodash. Let's see where the spirit takes me. Anyway, I'm opening up with this. Let me pull this open. Let's see what happens. Kyrie Irving offered Kyrie Irving, Floyd Mayweather offered film investment by prominent actor after NBA suspension. Okay, so in this video, this is from Champ's side. He's a young brother that does videos focuses on boxing, professional boxing, and the big fights, Here we go, right here. Let me see. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? How it come up? See, Champ side. So anyway, this is almost 5 minutes in. So you see here, you see the whole picture. They might take this down just because of this, but you look at the names. You can clearly see who they are and the team that they're supposed to be playing for, but look what it says there. It says Broken, not Brooklyn. And you see this guy. You see what's going on. So Jake, the Most High is separating Jake from E. Can't even say that word. They're speaking code around these people. I still have my Jesus wealth from 15 years ago. And that's from Mr. Isaiah Washington. He's trying to make a cowboy movie focusing on Bass Reeves, which if you was a kid, if you're old enough, you had the Lone Ranger, and the Lone Ranger and Tonto, the Lone Ranger was Bass Reeves. But Bass Reeves was a so-called black man, Israelite. Now you had a movie, what was that? The Magnificent Seven remake with Denzel, and Denzel played Bass Reeves. He was the first deputy sheriff, whatever the whole story is. But, like I said, it became popular with the Lone Ranger, which is not an Edomite. It was a Jake. Bass Reeves was a Jake. So you got Mr. Washington. He wants to make a gritty, Western, focusing on, Jake characters. So it says, Kyrie Irving, at Kyrie Irving, invest in me and my movie projects, and I will help both of our wealth building, and bring Floyd Mayweather to the table with you. So Jake got money. And in this video here, the author of this video, he says that, Jake has enough. I don't know why they don't have their own league. There has to be a separation, man. They showed you the heart of the small hats. This man did everything, coughed up 2 lungs. And they still, putting hell on this guy. There's a video, Kwame Brown exposes a real reason. The powers that be, right? You have powers that be. You have people that are sitting up looking down on people, publicly destroying Kyrie Irving. So I got to watch this video just to see what it says. Not even 10 minutes long. So everybody's talking about Kyrie Irving, right? Over what? Over this video that this guy Ronald Dalton. Let me see what's up with him. They didn't put him on the chopping block. He hasn't come up. Let's see if he put a new video up. he proves two Negroes okay, this is his official page. Hasn't put up anything. This is really more than 2 weeks. So they're not putting him on the chopping block, so to speak. And there's a series of movies: Hebrews to Negroes, Hebrews to Negroes 2, and I believe there's a Hebrews to Negroes 3 out of that came out of that. Let me see. Let me see if I can find this. Give me a second. Okay, I just put this up. Okay, I was just watching this video, and I said this a couple of years back, the importance of gold and silver. If you didn't hear it from me, you hear it from the so-called white man. Anyway, this is Deepen Moments. So I just subscribed to them. $1 off the shelf. Several U.S. states declared gold as legal tender. If gold is legal tender, then also silver. Gold, silver follows gold. All right. So when you watch this video, they mention actual states. It's mostly, Midwestern and Western states, mostly like Republican red states. They now recognize that real money is gold and silver, and they're pretty much not respecting the dollar. And the world is not respecting the dollar. The states are pretty much doing their own thing. Okay, so where the hell? I thought I put this video up. Oh yeah, Evelyn Rothschild transitioned. The father of David Rothschild, guy that looks like Caesar Borgia, which I believe that's Caesar Borgia coming back. But his father had just passed at the age of 91. So what's going on right now? Is he burning in hell? Nope. He's right before the throne. And he knows who he already knew who he was before he died. But the next time he comes back, he's coming back in the captivity. Here it is. Breaking news. Evelyn D. Rothschild, dead at 91. He has no power in heaven, but he's in the spiritual realm. Okay, I want to go into this. This is as soon as it comes up. The hell. What? This video has been removed for violating YouTube's policy on hate speech. Learn more about combating hate speech in your country. So they just took it down. Let me bring it back up. Yep, they just took it down. Basically, he was going into if you say anything that even sounds negative, that they think is negative about the small hats, they'll cut you down. He didn't say anything hateful. He was speaking on a they might have took my video down. Let's see here. Can't focus on them small hats, man. They're gonna come get you. Where am I? Okay, this is based the video GMS Las Vegas put up. Wait a minute, damn! I thought they took my shit down. It was based upon a maybe not. Maybe it was two times that they got up. That they bear me for a minute. All right, this is Apostle Ram did a response to this video, and the head elder of Las Vegas did a response to it, and it was focusing on, I believe, a series of videos dealing with Captain Tazariak. There was another one with, I believe it was Captain Tazariak and Chief Priest, as he calls himself, Alazar. They kind of teamed up along with WAC 100 and against these people. So I'm watching a video, you know, and there's certain people saying things about the small hats and they're denying it. So I didn't hear anything really negative, but you know, the fact that they were talking to these people, they take it down. That shows you who controls everything. And you know, this is the fulfillment of many scriptures. Ezekiel 37, one of my favorite scriptures. They said they stood upon their feet as an army. Revelation 11, they stood upon their feet, merely paraphrasing, phrasing, and great fear fell on them that saw them. So this is the standing of the feet, standing on your feet, you know? And Jake is taking sides, and everybody's talking about it, man. Everybody's talking about it. They're not even talking about Ye. Ye is like out of the news. Kyrie, he's still in the news. Oh, and by the way, he said he found out about the film Hebrews and Negroes because he took his name Kyrie and looked it up, and he said the word translates into the word Yahweh, which no doesn't translate into that. It as a matter of fact, let me do this. Let me show you what the word translates into. Let's go to Lord. In the New Testament. Look at that. The word Lord. Wow, almost 8,000 times. Now let me go over here. My son, despise not thou the chastening of the Lord, nor faint when thou art rebuked of him. I'm going to show you what Kyrie means, translates into. See, it says Kyrios, Kyrios. Same word as Kyrie. Kyrios or Kyrie. So he said the word means Lord or Yahweh, which it doesn't mean that. It means it means supremacy. It means like a landlord. It doesn't mean the name of the Most High. It doesn't translate into the name of the Most High. If you want to, if you want to go into the Hebrew, what is the Hebrew equivalent? It would be other one, which is not the name of the Most High. It's really a title. So that's why we go into these words. You get so much insight by going into the root of words, etymology. Where am I going to go now? I wanted to really focus on that video that GMS Vegas put up, but it was, they had just as I clicked on it, they just took it down. So now where am I going to go? Let's see where the spirit takes me. And see this video right here, only 400 views. This is a very important video that people didn't look into. And then I'll put up some other video, then I'll get 1,000 hits based upon the title. Because a lot of y'all, I'm gonna say this again, a lot of y'all watch this, you get entertained by this. We're not here to entertain you. You like controversy. You know, the video that was put up, like I said, I'm all over the place, but that's all right. Let me see if I can find it. And you know what? See, what I put it up there. I said a whole lot in this video. But I kind of went, I went into scripture, like First Chronicles 2. They ain't saying too much. First Chronicles 2. That's dealing with genealogy. I don't want to hear that. What does it mean? Captain Chazariak and WAC 100 versus the small hat community. And it really, well, you had one guy that represented the small hats, but then you had this clown, faithful to God. I call him faithful to the devil, and he's arguing back and forth. In this video concerning descendant from a woman, you can have descendant from a woman. When you go into that actual word, descendant actually means you descend through your seed. Women cannot produce seed. Women receive seed from a man. Like he said in the other video that the GMS Vegas put up, in the beginning of the video, faithful to God said, how do you say it? He was going back and forth, I believe, with Alazar. And what the hell did he say? He said there was a man, his father was a Judite, but his mother was a Manassite, but he was known as the son of Manasseh. Okay, but does that make him a Manassite? No, it makes him a Judite, whether he's the son of Manasseh, whether his mother is a Manassite or not, whether they call him a Manassite. You can't go to a person that's a Judite and say, oh, you're a Gadite. No. It has nothing to do with your mother. It has everything to do with your father. You are what your father is. Because if that was the case, then the Herodian dynasty would be Judites. And they're not Judites, they're Edomites because of their father, even though Herod the Great's father, Antipater, had children through an Israelite woman, one of the members of the Maccabees, the prominent family dynasty, the Maccabees. And so his sons and daughters came out looking like Israelites. They didn't look like classic white people or Edomites. So they were like, yeah, we're Judites. No, you're not Judites. You're tears. You're tears. You are what your father is. A Judite woman get with a Edomite woman, that child is a Judite, not an Edomite, not half Edomite, half Judah. There's no such thing as half. You're one nation. Now you can have the phenotype of another nation, the looks of another nation, facial features, bone structure, whatever. But I wanted to go into that daggone video, but it went down. I wanted you to hear it. So where am I going to go? I just had something in mind. There was a precept in my mind. Oh, you know what I said I was going to do? Let me go into the word Herod. Okay, Herod. Hope I spelled it right. Okay, it's not a double R. Okay, Herod the Great. Let's go into some history here. Let me go on to the Herod the Great. Herod the Great. This is the famous Herod that wanted the Messiah put to death. He went to the company of wise men. He said, told him of his star. He said, "Tell me of him so I can worship him." He wanted to kill him because he knew that was the Messiah to come. It says Herod also appears in the Christian Gospel of Matthew as the ruler of Judea who orders the massacre of the innocents, which are babies, which were it says babies, but they were boys. They didn't kill little girls because they knew the Messiah was coming out as a man. Same thing that happened in so-called Egypt when Moses came on the scene. They didn't kill little girls at the time of at the time of the birth of the Lord. Although most Herod biographers do not believe that this event occurred, that well, that's Esau, it's Esau for you. If Esau says it's got to be true, despite his successes, including single-handedly forging a new aristocracy from practically nothing, he has still been criticized by various historians. His reign polarizes opinion among historians, some reviewing his legacy as evidence of success and some viewing it as a reminder of his tyrannical rule. Upon Herod's death, the Romans divided the kingdom among three of his sons and his sister. And right here it says Idumea. Herod Antipas became tetrarch of Galilee. So it was the Romans that set these people up over Jake, but they look like Jake. Philip became tetrarch of territories north and east of the Jordan. So you had these Edomite tares that were ruling, and like I said, I'm saying it again, they were looking like Jake. And Salome, I was given a top par chi, including the cities of Jebna, Ashdod, the bastard shall dwell in Ashdod, right? This said Salome. Let me do this. Salome, the first was the sister of Herod the Great and the mother of Bernice by her husband Costoburus, governor of Idumea, because they were Edomites. They were Edomites posing as the true people, and the Romans set them up over the rest of Israel. She was a nominal queen regent of the Teparchy, if I'm saying that right, of Laminia, Azotos, whatever. You know what I'm gonna do? Let me click on this. So you can find a lot of information. It says she first married Joseph Idumean, whom she accused of familiarity, familiarities with a Merriman, wife of Herod. And thus, I'm trying to get to the point. Trying to get to the point. Okay. Herodias. Herodias, the Edomite, was a princess of the Herodian dynasty of Judea during the time of the Roman Empire. Christian writings connect her with John the Baptist execution because John the Baptist cursed one of the Herodians because it was Philip. Got to get that history right. Wife, I believe, that got with the Herod. So it was an adulterous act. So John said, as a matter of fact, let me do this. John the Baptist. Let me do it this way. John the Baptist. Look how he got him. Look how he got. Got it. They got him looking like a fucking caveman. You fucking devils. He wasn't dressed like that, and he damn sure wouldn't have his kneecap showing. All right. Do this again. Look at that. He got his. Look at this, man. Got some fucking caveman looking cracker. They didn't dress like that. He wasn't dressed like that. He didn't have his chest showing, his legs showing, his thighs showing. Some of you brothers do that shit. Let me do this. I don't want to get the story. All right, the beheading of John the Baptist, also known as the decollation of Saint John the Baptist. The hell, or the beheading of the forerunner. Right, forerunner, meaning that John the Baptist fulfilled the prophecy that Elijah would come back. So John the Baptist never went off. So ISUPK, you need to change that. He never went off. He fell out the truth. He should have followed Yahweh Shai. No, because he would be going against the prophecies. In the book of Isaiah, Isaiah spoke about him, and Malachi spoke about it. Is a biblical event commemorated as a holy day by various Christian churches, according to the New Testament. Herod Antipas, ruler of Galilee under the Roman Empire, had imprisoned John the Baptist. This was Herod Antipas. Herod Antipas was a first century ruler of Galilee, and Perea who bore the title of Tetrarch, which is a ruler under Rome, and it is referred to as both Herod the Tetrarch and King Herod, which was one of the sons of Herod the Great in the New Testament, although he never held the title of king. He was, yeah, Tetrarch is under king, but a ruler. He was a son of Herod the Great and grandson of Antipater the Idumean. The Idumean. Okay, Herod, Herod Antipas, ruler of Galilee, Roman Empire, had imprisoned John the Baptist because he had publicly reproved Herod for divorcing his first wife and unlawfully taking his sister-in-law, his brother's wife, which I believe that was Philip. And his second wife, Herodias, he then ordered him to be killed by beheading because it was the daughter of Herodias that danced before this Herod. And he said, whatever you want, I will give to you for your dance. And the mother, which was committed the adulterous act against her first husband, Philip, she said, tell him to chop the head of John the Baptist. All right. So that's what the story was all about. And then when he was in prison, he doubted whether that was the Messiah, his cousin, because he figured the Messiah was going. He knew that the Messiah. He knew that that was the Messiah. He knew that he had spiritual power. He was the deliverer. That's what his name meant. He deliverer. And he said he's gonna come bust me out. He didn't bust him out because he had to fulfill prophecy. You were there to usher in the Messiah, the forerunner, as the script as this says, and then you were to be taken out of the scene. Excuse me. Forgive me for that. But anyway, I did all this. And come back over here. Okay, Herod the Great. Let me do this. So if your mother carried the seed, right? That means that these Herodians were actually Israelites. They weren't Israelites. They looked like Israelites. Bear me for a minute. Born, this is Herod or Herod the Great, born circa 72 BCE, before the Common Era. Idumea has Hasmonean Judea, meaning you go back into the Josephus, John Hyrcanus had forced the Lord's statutes and commandments on these Edomites. And that's another reason why they claim that they're the people. Because they did, at one time, it was given the laws. But they wouldn't keep the laws. Remember, that Herod's son committed adultery with his brother's wife. And John cursed him out for it. He said, well, wait a minute, you going around saying you're an Israelite, you're breaking the law. That's adultery. So let me do this. Okay, Idumea, Edom. Bear with me for a minute. Dynasty loosely translated means powerful family. Herodian, her father Antipater the Idumean. So you got a lot of these people that there's no such thing as Idumeans, and Idumeans died a long time ago. They were, vocab, but there's no such thing as Idumean. You're an Idumean. You're probably one of the Herods. Antipater the first, the Idumean, was the founder of the Herodian dynasty and father of Herod the Great. According to the Josephus, he was the son of Antipas and had formerly held that name, a native of Idumea. A region southeast of Judah. Well, if you go south of Judah, you would go to Moab, the land of Moab, Ammon, and Edom. And if you keep going down, you go right back into the wilderness, in which the Edomites, we identify who the Edomites are. That's you small hats are the Edomites. So you can say you're Shemitic, but you're Shemitic, not Semitic. You came up with that word. You made that word up. You're actually Shemitic Edomites. Edomites settled during the classical period, and Antipater became a powerful official under the later Hasmonean kings, and subsequently became a client of the what? Of the Roman general Pompey the Great. From Pompey conquered Judah in the name of the Roman Republic. So where they said, okay, this province is a province where the Jews, I was using the word Jews, use that term. He said, okay, you're going to be over them. You're going to be a governor, a tetrarch, a king over them. Ultimately a king. But they were really going back telling the Romans what was going on. And they look like Israelites. I can't stress that enough. They look like Israelites, but they were tares. What do you think the Lord meant when he spoke about the wheat and the tares? In Matthew chapter 13, he said, when Julius Caesar and Pompey, Antipater rescued Caesar in Alexandria and was made a chief minister of what? Of Judea. This was Antipater, the Edomite. But he looked like an Edomite. His sons and daughters looked like Israelites. Chief minister of Judea. As Judah became known to the Romans, with the right to collect taxes, Antipater eventually made his, give me a second, made his son Phasaelus and Herod the governors of Jerusalem and Galilee. So they always wanted the land. So they were in the land, they were controlling the land. You had Jake back there, but who were the leaders? These Edomites that looked like Israelites, respectively. After the assassination of Caesar, Antipater was forced to side with Gaius Cassius Longinus against Mark Antony, and this is when ultimately Caesar Augustus came in. The pro-Roman politics of Antipater, and they dealt with politics, led to his increasing unpopularity among the devout, non-Hellenized Jews. He died by poison. Did you let me say it again. Antipater led to his increasing unpopularity among the devout, non-Hellenized Jews. These were the Jews that were born in Palestine and kept the laws, but you had Jews that would live in Egypt and so forth, outside of Israel, and they would come. So the Jews that were born in the land and stayed in the land, they looked at these Israelites that were coming from out of the country. They kind of looked at them a little sideways, because they were kind of kissing the ass of these Edomites. But the Jakes that were in the land, they were like, man, fuck this dude, this Antipater guy. Plus, he's a damn Edomite. They said he died by poison. Okay, this is what I wanted. The diplomacy, which is politics, and artful politics of Antipater. So he's a politician, as well as his incineration unto the Hasmonean court, which the Hasmoneans are the Maccabees, paved the way for the rise of his son Herod the Great, who used his disposition to marry the Hasmonean princess Mary, if I'm saying it right, and there himself to Rome and became king of Judea under Roman influence. Let's click on this word here. Let's deal with this. She was a Jake. So this guy Antipater, the Idumean, he had what came out of that union, because a lot of these niggas was selling out back then too. They're laying with fucking Edomites, man. So the children that came out of, I'm gonna click on her in a minute. They look like Israelites. It says Mary, if I'm saying it right, Miriam, whatever. The first, also called Marian, whatever. The Hasmonean, because she came out of the line of Maccabees, was a Hasmonean princess and the second wife of Herod the Great. What about, wait a minute, Hasmonean princess? She was known for her great beauty, as was her brother Aristobulus III, which he was a Jake. Herod's fear of his rivals, the Hasmoneans, led him to execute all of the prominent. Got to click on this. Just going through the history. And see, when you learn this history, then when you go to the scriptures, when you read about the slaughtering of the Hebrew boys in Herod, then you know about, and the Christians don't know unless you went to a Bible school, you studied this. But the average Christian, they don't know nothing about. They know about Herod, but they don't know that Herod was an Idumean. That his father was Antipater. I'll see if I can get some more information out of this. Her name is spelled, that's in the Greek, by Josephus, but some editions of his work, the second name is double Mary, whatever. Marry me, whatever. And later copies of those editions, the spelling was this mantled, this dissimulated. Please forgive me for my reading skills. Dissimulated to its now most common form. Miriam, say in Hebrew. Okay, the Hebrew I can hardly read that. Miriam, Mariam, as in the traditional biblical name, Miriam, the sister of Moses and Aaron. So, like I said, the Herodian dynasty, they looked like Jakes, but they were not Jakes. You know what I'm gonna do? Let me do this. Wait for a minute. I'm sorry, Matthew 2. Go to Matthew 2. Herod slaughters babies, which are the sons. So now, like it says here, 16 verse, Matthew 2, verse 16, then Herod, meaning Herod the Great, when he saw that he was mocked of the wise men, was exceeding wroth, and sent forth and slew all the children, or actually the word there in the Hebrew translates into sons, that were in Bayathlakam, because they all knew that the fulfillment of the prophecy that the Messiah was going to come out of Bethlehem and all the coast thereof, from 2 years old and under. These are infants, man, toddlers, according to the time which he had diligently inquired of the wise men. These were wicked ass people, man. So when you go further into the history of Herod, you ask a Christian, well, what was his father's name? They don't know. And then you could tell them that he was an Edomite. Like this guy, faithful to God. Yeah, well, you can be of the tribe of your mother. No, you cannot. If your father's a Judite and your mother's a Manasseh, you're not, and you're called the son of Manasseh. It doesn't mean you are actual son of Manasseh. You're not from the seed of Manasseh. Your genealogy doesn't go back to Manasseh. It goes back to Judah. So let me click on the word Herod. See, Jake doesn't like to go, like if I'm going into this history and going into details, Jake doesn't want that. They want, see, you know what Jake likes? They like fast food. Jake don't know about eating good food at a sit down restaurant. You know, Jake will go to McDonald's and Wendy's and they'll eat the food and they're gone, you know? Jake doesn't sit down and, you know, take the time eating real food, real food. There's a lot of history here. I just want to see if they say Idumean. Okay, they do. Herod, which means heroic, the name of a royal family that flourished among the Jews, Judah, in the time of the Messiah and the apostles. Herod the Great was the son of Antipater of Idumea, appointed king. So we got that, right? Let me take the word Idumea. I should have came up, but let me do it this way. Isaiah 34. Isaiah 34. You can't understand the mystery. You have to know the history in order to understand the mystery. That's the same. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment. These are the cursed people. When did that happen? As a matter of fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to the Bible Hub. Idumea. The word there in the Hebrew is Adam, but it should be Adawam. Edom, red, Edomite, Idumea, descendant of Esau, land of Edom, Idumea, land south and southeast of Palestine. Edom. See Genesis 25 and 25. Edom, the elder twin brother of Jacob, hence the region Idumea, occupied by him, Edomites, Idumea. Esau, Idumea, Edomites. What did I say I was going to do? Let me do this. Oh, yeah, I know what I'm going to do. Let me do this. The hell did I say I was going to do? Yeah, let's just go to this here. Commentary. Bible Hub. Let's see what they say about this. My sword shall be bathed, drunken, i.e., not with blood, which suggests an idea foreign to this passage, but with fury and per, uh, preparation for its work, which is one on earth. Idumea, Edom is Greek form here in Isaiah 34, verse 6, and in Ezekiel 35:15, Ezekiel 36:5, the people of my curse, the last word is strictly ban of mine. The people on whom I laid the, the bond, the slaughter of the inhabitants of Edom. When did it happen? They didn't tell me nothing. You didn't tell me anything. And none of these clowns will tell you that it's a future prophecy. Because maybe they know. When did the Most High use the sword on the Edomites? Never. Getting ready to happen. Nothing, 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 nothing. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. The latter was one of the chief cities of the Edomites. And it mentions here Jeremiah 49 and 13. King James. King James. For I have sworn by myself, saith the Lord, that Bozrah shall become a desolation, a reproach, a waste, and a curse, and all the cities thereof shall be perpetual waste. So you know what I got to do? Take this. Go to comment. They ain't saying nothing. They ain't saying nothing. I have 49, Jeremiah 49, 7 to 22. I'm in dealing with the 13th verse. The Edomites were old enemies to the Israel of God, which are the Israelites. But their day is now at hand. It is foretold, another word, another way of saying prophecy, foretold, told before, prophesied, not only to warn them, but for the sake of the Israel of God. I'm reading verbatim, of course, whose afflictions were aggravated by them, by the Edomites. Thus, divine judgment go round from nation to nation. The earth is full of commotion, and nothing can escape the ministers of divine vengeance. The righteousness of the Most High of God is to be observed amidst the violence of men. They're pretty much telling you in a what do you call it, theological way that it's a future event by using the word foretold. So this is yet to happen. Jeremiah 49 and 13, Isaiah 34 and 5. Oh, wait a minute. Bozrah, a part for the whole. Bozrah being its principal city, Isaiah 63 and 1, as well as the city of Moab, as we found in the foregoing chapter, and that which he threatens it with was not being a reproach, a waste, and a curse for a time, but forever. Who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments of Bozrah, that it is glorious, that that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength? I speak in righteousness, mighty to save. So now we got to go here. We got to get the commentary on this. What does this mean? The mention of Edom as a scene of a judgment, which is obviously universal world judgment, including all the enemies of Yahweh and Israel, the national Israel, as a feature common to this prophecy. So they know that this Isaiah 63:1 didn't take place. They know that Isaiah 34, verse 5 and 6 didn't take place. Because if it took place, they would say, well, this took place at such and such a time, so and such BC. It hadn't taken place. And the Edomites are not there as a people. They're not ruling the land of Edom or Petra. They're scattered, just like Israel was. And that of the chapter 34, it is partly accounted for by the embittered relation between the two peoples, Esau and Jacob, the Israelites and the Edomites. This whole thing with Kyrie Irving, an Israelite, you got the Edomites coming against the Israelites, of which traces are found in post-exile writings, and partly perhaps by the ancient conception that Yahweh marches from Edom to the succor or the help of his people. Judges 5 and 4. There can hardly be a reference to anticipated resistance on the part of the Edomites to the reestablishment of the Jewish state. For the judgment is not on Edom alone, but on all nations. And moreover, the prophecy in all probability belongs to a date subsequent to the first return of the exile from Babylon. No, it never happened. It never happened. It's getting ready to happen. Most High is causing a great separation between Jake and Esau. And Jake is what is Jake doing? They're not following Sarnetta and going back to Egypt and we're Kemetic. They're talking about Israelites. And that's why them devils, came against them. Anyway, with that, I'm gonna say Shalom.